USS Wisconsin was one of the most powerful battleships ever developed. No enemy ship or fortification could survive a direct hit from her powerful main battery of 9 16-inch guns. After a brief but successful service in World War II, she fought again in the Pacific, but this time in Korea, against the invading communist forces. While Wisconsin, known fondly as Big Wisky by her crew, was decimating enemy positions in Songkin, she was hit for the first time since World War II with a North Korean 155mm artillery shell. Although damage was minimal, and only 3 sailors were lightly injured, Wisconsin unleashed a full salvo of her 16-inch main battery against the small enemy emplacement. The enemy battery and its surroundings were obliterated, resulting in craters full of little more than rubble. Iowa-class battleship. USS Wisconsin was an Iowa-class battleship laid down in January 1941 at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. She was part of the Navy's fast battleship design, the third out of 4 ships of the Iowa class, and the second Navy vessel to bear the name of the 30th American state. The battleship was armed with 9 powerful 16-inch guns, split into 3 turrets, 12 5-inch guns, 20 dual-purpose Mark 12 guns, 80 L-60 guns, and 40 Oerlikon anti-aircraft cannons. The main battery of Mark 7 guns had a range of over 20 miles, while the secondary battery could fire at targets up to 10 miles away. Wisconsin's armor was between 9 and 14.5 inches thick, providing excellent protection against enemy land and naval gunfire. Additionally, the battleship was equipped with AN/SPS-49 air search radar, AN/SPS-67 surface search radar, and AN/SPQ-9 gunfire control radar. The Iowa-class battleship was 887 feet long, had a beam of 108 feet, a draft of 37 feet, and a displacement of 57,540 long tons. Wisconsin's advanced propulsion system enabled her to reach over 30 knots, granting her agility and striking power. Wisconsin was launched in December 1943 and commissioned in April 1944 under the orders of Captain Earl E. Stone. After training and trials in the Chesapeake Bay, she departed Norfolk in July 1944, bound for the British West Indies. In September, the battleship crossed the Panama Canal and reported to the Pacific Fleet in October for training exercises in Hawaii. Wisconsin was one step closer to fighting the Japanese. World War II. USS Wisconsin reached the Caroline Islands on December 9, 1944, and joined Admiral William F. Halsey's Third Fleet for the American reconquest of the Philippines. A few days later, USS Wisconsin was destroying Japanese facilities at Manila, working with the Third Fleet's Fast Carrier Task Force 38. Thanks to her help, U.S. aircraft softened up enemy defenses at Manila and destroyed over 270 Japanese fighters and 27 vessels, establishing air supremacy in the region. Task Force 38 saw this winning streak cut short on December 18th, when it was hit by Typhoon Cobra. This tropical cyclone took the lives of over 790 sailors, sinking 3 destroyers and a dozen aircraft, while severely damaging 9 warships. Wisconsin survived the weather's wrath without a scratch, leaving her able to unload her arsenal against the Japanese during operations in Luzon and Formosa, where she provided anti-aircraft support to Task Force 38. These operations lasted the first weeks of January 1945 and resulted in the loss of more than 40 Japanese ships and dozens of facilities, decimating Japanese influence in the Pacific. Wisconsin was assigned to the Fifth Fleet in February, when Admiral Raymond A. Spruance relieved Admiral Halsey. She approached the shores of Tokyo with Task Force 58 on the 16th and rained hell on the Imperial Japanese troops. Task Force 58 destroyed over 320 aircraft that took to the skies and over 170 stationed on the ground, in addition to hangars and aircraft facilities around the airfield. Immediately after, Wisconsin was dispatched to Iwo Jima to provide direct fire support to the Marines bound to land on Japanese home soil on February 19th. War in the Pacific was about to turn more violent. Big Wisky. As the Leathernecks established the beachheads in Iwo Jima, Task Force 58 was again dispatched to Tokyo to strike it and neutralize defenses at Hachino Island. In March 1945, Wisconsin ravaged Kyushu and swiftly eradicated ground targets at Okinawa with her powerful main battery, pounding artillery emplacements and pillboxes where the defenders were firmly dug in. By June, the American forces were ready to invade mainland Japan. Wisconsin kept pounding Japan with her 16-inch guns, removing oil refineries, storage facilities, and construction buildings. Japan was in flames, but the Imperial Army refused to surrender, which led to a last devastating air raid over Tokyo on August 13th, before the launch of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Wisconsin's next task was Operation Magic Carpet. Its objective was to repatriate U.S. servicemen that served in the Pacific Theater. The battleship was placed out of commission after bringing soldiers to the mainland U.S. During her brief career, she earned 5 battle stars fighting the Japanese. Still, Big Wisky, as she was fondly nicknamed by her sailors, would not lay dormant for a long time. Another conflict was brewing in the Pacific, and Wisconsin was ready to answer the call of duty. Off to Korea. In June 1950, a sudden invasion by Communist North Korea shook South Korea, prompting the United States and the United Nations to prepare for war and counter the advancing troops. Amidst General Douglas MacArthur's efforts to recapture the South and stabilize the front, USS Wisconsin was awakened and recommissioned in March 1951. Under the command of Captain Thomas Burroughs, she embarked on her mission, having completed 2 midshipman training courses. Setting course for the Korean peninsula, Wisconsin arrived, ready to face the challenges ahead. By November 1951, she reached Japan, assuming the role of flagship for Vice Admiral H.M. Martin, commander of the 7th Fleet, and relieving her sister ship, USS New Jersey. Joining Task Force 77, Wisconsin played a vital role in providing gunfire support for the advancing Republic of Korea troops and the 1st Marine Division in the Kaesong-Kosong region. The ship's firepower wreaked havoc on enemy tanks, artillery, and bunkers. Notably, during one operation, surrounded ROK troops from the 1st Corps requested call fire support. Wisconsin responded by launching 3 star shells, illuminating the night sky with a burst of burning material. This display of incandescent light allowed friendly soldiers to repel the enemy attack. The ship repeated this tactic when supporting the 11th ROK forces in Wonsan Harbor, effectively fending off North Korean troops. As operations continued in December, Wisconsin remained committed to assisting UN troops. She targeted trenches, bunkers, command posts, and large enemy concentrations in the Kojo region. Following these engagements, the battleship underwent a brief checkup in Sasebo, Japan. Wisconsin's secondary battery proved invaluable in eliminating small enemy craft and clearing coastal defenses. In late December, she embarked on a special tour over the Korean peninsula, accompanied by Cardinal Francis Spellman to celebrate Christmas and conduct Catholic Mass for UN servicemen. In January 1952, the battleship received a great honor with the presence of South Korean President Syngman Rhee, who awarded Vice Admiral Martin with the ROK Order of the Military Merit during his visit aboard the ship. Without delay, Wisconsin returned to the fray, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Temper. Wisconsin resumed combat operations in late January and continued providing fire support for ROK divisions, Marines, and UN troops near the coast, severely reducing the combat effectiveness of the 15th North Korean Division. In February, Wisconsin was inspected by high-ranking US and ROK military officers before departing to Songkin to fix her main guns on enemy railway transports. On March 15th, Wisconsin was hit for the first time since World War II, while she destroyed a North Korean tunnel and train that left some enemy vehicles and troops trapped inside. It was a lucky hit from a 155mm gun battery that struck the shield of a starboard side 40mm gun mount. The impact lightly wounded 3 sailors and barely scratched the warship. Still, the direct hit was more than enough to provoke the wrath of the USS Wisconsin and her crew. In response, the mighty battleship fixed her 16-inch main battery on the hostile emplacement and unleashed a full salvo, obliterating the artillery piece and everything in the surroundings. Impressed by her disproportionate show of force, USS Duncan, which was nearby, was quick to signal a message to Wisconsin that said, quote, "Temper, temper." In April, Wisconsin was relieved by her sister ship Iowa and returned to the U.S., earning a 6th battle star for her service in Korea. Gulf War. USS Wisconsin was employed as a training ship and received an overhaul in the aftermath of the Korean War. In 1956, she collided at sea with the destroyer USS Eaton, severely damaging both vessels' bows. Wisconsin was repaired with spare parts from the incomplete USS Kentucky and decommissioned in 1986 as part of President Reagan's 600-ship Navy. For the upcoming Gulf War, Wisconsin was modified with more modern equipment. When U.S. and Allied forces stormed Iraq, Wisconsin provided fire support for Allied forces operating close to the Persian Gulf. Almost 50 years after her development, the 16-inch guns still spread terror among the enemy, decimating facilities and hostile troop concentrations. Wisky became the last battleship in the world to see combat when the Gulf War ended. When the Soviet Union collapsed, USS Wisconsin was retired and converted into a ship museum in Norfolk, Virginia. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe to our Dark Documentaries channels to find more exciting historical content. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of our newest videos.